My online coaching business, it felt borderline impossible to make any progress and actually get started because I just felt like this big ball of stress. I was completely overwhelmed. I didn't know what my first step was that I needed to take. I had this massive amount of cognitive dissonance. It just felt like I was trudging through mud. I just didn't have any clear step that made me any progress whatsoever, and it was just demoralizing. And then on top of that, there was so many different gurus and business mentors targeting their ads to me, and their videos would pop up on YouTube, and they'd all describe a slightly different strategy and say, no, my way is the best way. You should run ads, or you should use TikTok, or you should use YouTube. And it just felt like I was being pulled and dragged in every single direction, and it felt too much. Too much for me to take action. So what I'm going to do in this video today is I'm going to break down very, very simply how online coaching works, no matter what business coaching or business strategy you're using, no matter what mentorship you enter. The principles I'm going to tell you in this video will apply across every single strategy that you do. The understanding that you're going to have after you've watched this video is going to, in theory, completely eradicate the amount of overwhelm. Like, I don't know, the marketing could poison your brain once again, but hopefully it doesn't, because after this you should be able to go and act with more clarity in your coaching business. And in fact, there's a follow-on video that you should watch from this, which is a video that I made previously. I made it like last week. It's called How to Transition Your Coaching Business Online in 90 Days, where I break down exactly what to do day by day in order to grow your online coaching business. But before you go to that video, make sure that you watch this in full so that we can reduce that overwhelm first, so that you can act with that clarity. Now, on screen here, I've got a few different things. Now, the first thing we're going to focus on here is the before and the after state. And I'm going to draw a line of progression between the two. And this is how we're going to explain and measure what you need to do in the business in order to move forward. Now, our before state is probably where you're at right now. You're kind of feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're working the gym floor or a 9-to-5 job, and maybe you're doing things, right? Maybe you're like trying to post content and put offers out there, but it's just not quite hitting. And we're just not making progress. We have little to no online income. The after state is making between 10 and 20K per month from online coaching. And I'm going to just break down for you exactly what you would need to focus on over the next year or so if you wanted to get to this. Now, in business, you are not necessarily doing things to make progress. That's not the way that you want to think of this. You want to think of this as, to make progress, you are solving constraints. Because whether you like it or not, you're moving in some direction. You are. You're moving in some direction. Now, what happens is most people, they bounce between the initial stages of their business and just standing still. They'll start and get overwhelmed and fail, and they kind of just end up in this initial zone where they're just going back and forth. And that's probably where you are right now. Like, you start doing some things and then it kind of fizzles out, and then you go to start again, and you ultimately don't move from the first step of the business. All we are doing is solving constraints, because you are moving whether you like it or not. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to move to the point where you meet a constraint. You've got two options. You can either turn back, like we just spoke about, and do nothing and stay where you are, or try a different route, which, again, similarly doesn't work. Or you can solve the constraint. Now, people who have successful online coaching businesses, they solve their constraints. People who have successful businesses in general, they solve constraints. This is what business is about. So look, That's a principle to understand with business just in general, is that you are not in the game of doing things. You are in the game of solving problems and things that are stopping you from growing. Now, in your online coaching business, there are only 3 constraints that you have to solve. And this is where you should feel the cognitive dissonance lift, and you should feel that overwhelm disappear. Take a deep breath with me right now. There are only 3 things that you've got to do. Only 3 constraints that you've got to solve. Number 1 is having a small audience, or having no people, having no traffic flow. Eyeballs. It's the first thing you've got to solve. Getting views, getting people. The next thing is ineffective conversion. Not being able to help somebody make a decision to become a client. It's the second constraint we've got to solve. The third constraint is unstructured delivery. Not being able to take somebody on a transformation. This is my depiction of a transformation. Not being able to take somebody from a before and after result. That's it. I know. The world is less noisy now, right? Like, you've only got to focus on 3 things: getting eyeballs, converting those eyeballs, taking them on a transformation. Right? I'm gonna break this down to make it even more simple for you, right? Because so many people, oh, this is crazy. So many people, they dress up, and look, like, it's just marketing, and I'm not against marketing, but they'll dress up systems for getting views so glamorously that it becomes so enticing, it just poisons your brain, and you become dogmatic, and you think that there's just this one special method out there that works. Look, for each one of these things that I'm going to cover here, there are only a few things that you actually can do, no matter how much people dress up their system with fancy words and like they use their marketing. I promise you, look, I've been doing this for like nearly a decade at this point. I promise you, there are only really simple principles within these things here that you've got to do. So within getting views, there are only 3 things that you can do to go ahead and actually get views and get traffic on the internet. And outside of these 3 things, there's not really anything. You've just got to get good at one of these 3. So number 1 is you can buy eyeballs. You can buy traffic. You can run ads. That's what that is. When you see the little promote button on Instagram, that's going to buy you more views, right? That's the first way. The next thing that you can do is you can post content like I'm doing right now. This is a form of my, you might not have even come across me before. You might not know who I am, right? But now you do, because you've found my video. So that's what content can do. And then lastly is direct communication. So you can actually just reach out to people. These are the only 3 ways to make people aware of your existence online, right? You can either post content, whether that's in the form of a YouTube video, reel, Instagram post, TikTok. It could be a website, blog post. You can buy the traffic for that content, or you can directly reach out to people. Outside of that, look, don't shoot the messenger. That's all there is. We just have to get really good at doing these things, and we have to communicate to your niche effectively. Now, I actually had an old YouTube channel, and that has way more subscribers than this one. This one, at the time of recording, has like 70 odd subscribers. Maybe it's got loads more by the time you're watching this, but it's only got about 70 subscribers at the time of recording, and this will be the 9th video going out there. We've made off this channel with less than 100 subscribers. We've made in the past week 8,000 USD in the past week just off this channel. And that's because the content that I'm making is so specific and so in touch with the people that I'm working with, that my content is hitting, it's just finding the right people. If you're here right now, you're in the right place, because it's by design here to find the right people. You are the right person that I would like to help and work with, right? We want your content. We need your content to do the same thing. And then the better you are at doing this, the less you have to spend on ads, and certainly the less outreach and like just one-to-one direct outbound you have to do. I'm not talking about cold outreach with this. There's so much more to like this whole outbound thing system that people do. And in the beginning, if you want to make this happen fast, then you do need to do some outreach. There's a video, my 90-day to becoming an online coach video is linked below this. So just watch that, and that will explain a little bit more about that. But anyway, that's how that works. Those are the only 3 things that you can do to even solve this problem, to solve this constraint. But now we move on to the next one. Let's just cross this off and say that we've solved that as a problem. Next is conversion. So how do we actually convert people into clients? Well, again, there's 3 things that you can do. There are 3 things that you can do with this to just make it really, really simple. And I call these the 3 C's. You've got content, conversations, calls. C. So you can post content, right? You can post your content like we are, like I'm doing right now. And again, content has 2 functions. It can help convert your clients, or it can help you grow your audience. You've got conversations. So this is where, we're actually going to be reaching out to people and starting a conversation, or have them reach out to us. And then we've got phone calls. This is my best attempt at a phone drawing. It looks nothing like a phone. But these are the 3 things that you can do to convert people that don't cost any money. So just to draw you out the funnel here a little bit, right? Somebody becomes an eyeball, right? Then they see your content, and ideally that content should be optimized for converting people. And again, that's easier said than done. So watch the other videos on this YouTube channel. Reach out to me on Instagram if you want me to personally help you with that. If you go to Instagram, my @ is @TomHutchMove, and just DM me the word online, and I'll actually go ahead and give you some help. So next is content. They'll see that content and engage with it, right? They'll get warmed up. They'll start to see value in what you're saying. They'll start to see you as an authority. And then from there, they're going to be easier to reach out to, or they might even reach out to you. Really, really simply, right? They might even reach out to you. And from there, they're going to be easier to get on a phone call. And on the phone call, you're going to turn them into a client. And I know it sounds so simple. It's so like not sexy. I'm like the least sexiest business coach out there, but I'm just giving you the truth, right? This is genuinely just what works. Like, and everybody's just trying to dress up this in like a bundle that makes it seem like novelty driven and play to your like dopaminergic system. But like, you're not an idiot, right? Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do, right? You need to be sort of behind the curtain. You don't want to be a victim of the game. You need to be a player in the game, right? So yeah, this is like the line of progression to get a client. So that's essentially how it works. And I know it's like, oh well, yeah, but now what do I do? Well, now you need to learn how to get really, really good at these things, right? And once you do get really good at them, and I'm just going to show you examples, sure, I'm going to be showing off some of my results here. Let me just get rid of all this because I'll definitely use this again to show to people. One second, guys. So the next thing that we've got to focus on is, well, the things that we've got to focus on, just to summarize, is growing your audience, converting clients consistently, and getting real results from the people that you're going to be helping. Now, look, once you start growing your audience, you can start getting a few clients, right? £2,000, $2,000, €2,000 per month. As long as you get that problem solved, it's pretty easy to do that, right? Next, once you start to crack getting your content, your calls, and your conversations on point, and you're consistently booking qualified leads onto the calendar, you'll start to double that. You'll start to get to about 4,000 per month. Once you get results, and once you're like really, really helping people, and people can see that, people will start reaching out to you, and then it'll be possible to make, this is 10,000 Aussie dollars in a day, but let's just say, I'm not sure if this client in particular did that every single day of the week, but I know that he had a few days like that, for sure. Selling higher ticket coaching programs, but that's like, let's say like £5,000 in a week. It's pretty good. Like that's like 20k per month. Look, once you solve these problems to the level that they need to be solved at, that's when this will happen for you. The people that you see marketing systems online, and like the overwhelm that you're feeling right now, is solved by accepting that this is how it works. Very simply, you need to get traffic, you need to convert that traffic, you need to get those people that have paid you fantastic results like we did for our clients here. That's why people want to pay us and want to become our clients. So yeah, hopefully the overwhelm's gone. I know that there's a few like hard truths in there of like, so this is going to be harder and longer than I thought it was going to be. And that's sad. That's painful. You might be feeling some pain right now. What I would recommend doing is set your intention to become incredibly good at the game of achieving this. Become incredibly competent at attracting traffic and converting it and getting them amazing results. I'm going to link the video to the 90-day plan below here, so you should definitely go and watch that. Yeah, see you in the next.